Hello everyone, this is Amit, and today we will try to understand how JWT JSON Web Token works over the internet. And first of all, what is JWT? So JWT stands for JSON Web Token. Okay, so on web, with we like it was decided that JSON can be transferred from one medium to the other, and there were some set of because JSON is kind of very easy to understand. It is very compact compared to other medium of transfer, for example XML and all. So this is what is called as JSON Web Token. Okay, now the thing is, how does this JSON Web Token works? Okay, so let's say this is a guy, okay, and his name is Bob, and he's an employee to Amazon, okay, and here is the Amazon server which he is trying to access. So he gave his name and password to the server, okay, because JWT is used for two things. Like, it is often used for encryption as well. It is used for uh, like having or carrying the integrity of data as well. So let's say if I transferred the data, like if Bob transferred the data from to the server, so the server should also know that it is coming from Bob. This is what is called as integrity, and JWT takes care of the integrity in the middle. What happens if there is some cut in the middle, and there is some miscommunication, and some hackers try to change the information between them? So in that case, the server would be able to utilize a JWT in order to see whether this was the right set of information or not, that was being sent or not. Okay, this is what the thing is. Now coming to this JWT token. JWT token is used for authentication and authorization as well. So authentication is the first step when you try to log in to the website. This is what is called authentication. While authorization is something where when you are supposed to, when the server allocates you with the services that it offers, okay, and when the server have to allocate you with some resources or some set of APIs that is not accessible to anybody, or like that is not publicly accessible, then this is what is called as authorization. Authentication is the first step, then the authorization, which is used to which the server uses to know that this was the person who was trying to communicate. Now you give the email and password to the server and you try to log in. The server would produce a token in return. Okay, server would sign something and it would return a token using the secret key as well. So we would try to understand this mechanism as well. In the next slide I'm discussing that as well. Now what happens is, Bob would use this token in order to let the server know this is Bob, who is employee of this company to which the server belongs to, and the server would allocate him whatsoever query he says on the basis of his privileges. Okay, so second step is authorization, in which server decides whether to assign Bob with certain APIs or some resources as well, as well. Okay, this is what it is. Now what happens is, Bob has this token with him, and the server verifies it, and he says, hey, it got to know that okay, this is what Bob is. This is Bob. And Bob also requested for, in the same query, Bob also requested for a list of customers' name as well. And it is just a list of customer name, not any other details. Then the server provides it with the detail after getting to know that the token is valid, after verifying that the token was valid. This is the step that is being followed. Now how does how does this damn server would got to know that whether this token was well, like how it produced this token? First is this question. Second question is, how does this server verifies this token? And the server has a secret with it, and Bob is also having a secret with him, same secret with him. Let's say they are using an asymmetric algorithm. Okay, HMAC, let's say they are using HMAC over here. So HMAC stands for hash message authorization code. Okay, so this is what it is happening over here. Now let's say in the let's discuss the structure of JWT. So first part is the header, and the second part is payload, and the third part is signature. Okay, so the header is like what is the algorithm that is being used in order to encode this JWT. Let's say we are using HMAC or HSA. Let's say we are using HSA or RSA. Let's say using RSA over here, and type of the token is JWT. Now you can add the personal information over here. So name and designation. So in the above case, the name and password would be served in this or any other thing that the server has to offer. Okay. Now first of all, it can be encrypted by some other. Let's assume this first request is not encrypted at all. It is just communicating over an HTTP server, because I just want you guys to understand this thing. Now this is the structure of JWT token. The first part is the header, second part is payload, and the third part is signature. Now what is header? Header stands for what is the kind of algorithm that is being used in order to encrypt the token, and what is the type of this particular token that is being used by the server. Now the second thing is the payload. Payload is the, it can be personal, it depends, it changes from person to person. Signature is something that uses header, payload. Let me use a different color. Signature is something that is used by header, payload, and secret in order to encode things for the server. Okay, this is what is happening. Now signature, how does it utilizes it? It uses base URL 64 encode. I forgot to. So base URL 64 encode, and it puts the header into it, and then the dot, then base URL 64 encode. And payload, it encodes the payload as well, and then it appends and put a dot in the middle. Then it uses secret to sign this thing. This is what the signature part is. This is what the third thing is. Now whenever the user try to log in to the server produces this information and give it as a token. This is what is called as a JWT token, by the way. So this token is being provided to Bob, and Bob gets this token. Bob uses this token in order to access or let the server know that he was Bob. Now here, let's say the server assigns Bob with some different payload. Let's say he is his designation is manager, and his name is, let's say, just Bob. Okay, let's cut Amit and put Bob over here. Okay, now this is what is being encoded with the payload. Then comes the signature part. So the signature part is using an algorithm that's called HMAC SHA-256, and then it uses base URL encode header. It encodes the header, then it encodes the payload and user secret to sign it, that is being at the signature. Okay, now let's say the second request that is being sent from Bob to the server. Okay, first of all it is being signed and given to Bob. Now secondly, let's say Bob uses the same token and go to the server. Server, what it do is, because it is having the same secret that Bob also had, it would try to apply the same function over here. It would try to replicate the signature, and then it would try to create the signature and would compare it with the last digit that is being separated by these things, ZZZ. Okay, this is the signature that was being set within the token, and the signature that is being produced using this header and payload that was being sent on the second time by Bob, and it generally recreates the signature, and it calculates whether this signature and that calculated signature are they equal or not. And whenever that calculated signature are equal, what the server do is, the server would say that, okay, yes, he is Bob, and it would decrypt server would decrypt these dots, and it would try to retrieve the information. He would got to know that, okay, this was the algorithm, this was the type of JWT, this was the name and designation of him, and he's a manager and he have access to all the list of all the customers. Let him give this list of all the customers. This is what the server would do, and this is what the process which JWT provides a utility for. JWT is used for authentication and authorization, and because this token has some meaning, it has some data, so it need to be further encrypted as well. This is what I want to say, and this is what the JWT token looks like, and let's see you in the next session.